Hello, everybody. It's me, Ross, and welcome back to another edition of the Monday Recap. And I'm joined, as ever, by good old Liam. And Liam, we celebrated a 95th winner on the weekend as the Blues beat Fleetwood Town at Portman Road in League One to make it back-to-back wins for the first time this season under Paul Cook as well. Liam, you were there. How was it in that North Stand and your verdict on the win? We had to grit and get that win, but we got there.
Well, it was, as you would imagine, it would be absolute total carnage. I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. I was delighted the way the game went, and there's nothing better in football than seeing something like that. That the euphoria, the ecstasy that you can get, the adrenaline rush of a last-minute goal is just something that you can pretty much is unrivaled. But we probably shouldn't have needed that. We had enough chances throughout the game to have comfortably been ahead. But it was one of those weird games. It was Town deserved to win it, and I'm not saying they didn't deserve that last minute goal. But it was a strange. The way the game played out was quite strange because Town had the better chances and few very good saves by the goalkeeper, and a few probably poor misses, including one uncharacteristically from Bon in the first half, who just seemed to head it straight back at the keeper with that really good chance near the end of the half. There were enough chances to kill Fleetwood off, but at the same time, we did look quite shaky at the back, and Fleetwood definitely caused us problems when they came forward, and did look like they could easily snatch a goal from somewhere. And of course, typical Town as they have been this season, they don't kill teams off and then get into that last 10-15 minute period. The opposition think, well, we can gamble here. We're losing anyway, so let's see what we can do. And a bit like Cambridge in a way, they go a bit more aggressive. And I mean, it's a great goal, really good header, really brave by the centre forward. And you're just thinking from there, it's what is going on. Just it can't be again. But the key thing for me was the drive and determination after that to try and get going and try and win the game, which we haven't seen so far this season. When they've been dragged back, it's usually ended in a draw. So to get that, and the quality of it was just fantastic. I mean, the pass by Evans is just sublime. But take nothing away from Donatian. I mean, to get that perfectly weighted, that little flick back. I mean, it wasn't even a flick. It's kind of like a loopy little kind of dink back towards the penalty spot. Especially after earlier in the half where he tried to cross the ball twice and the second one seemed to get worse than the first one. You kind of thinking, it wasn't his day, and then he puts in something like that. And of course, Celina, who a lot of people said didn't think had done a lot, which he hadn't, and I think he's still very much getting up to speed and trying to get himself back. Remember, he's not played a lot of football and has had a pretty serious health scare in terms of his heart, so it is going to take him more time. But he's a quality player, and he was in the right place at the right time, and the finish was great, and everyone just went absolutely nuts. And we needed that, as you say. The back-to-back wins was crucial, and now we've got that monkey off the back. It's a chance now to build, and you could see that in just the kind of release of just relief when that goal went in, and of course sent everybody wild, including our special VIP.
Indeed, you segue nicely. We didn't prepare this, did we? We did. But yes, Brett Johnson, one of the co-owners, part of the Game Changer Free Lions group. He was there for his first ever game, experiencing Portland Road, the atmosphere, the chants, and all that sort of stuff. And it was like a Hollywood ending, a Hollywood script. Him scoring, no, Burton Celina scoring, but him to see that and celebrating with Mark Ashton in the director's box. That's a great feeling for him, and he'll go back to America with Burke Mackay and Mark Detmer and telling them that experience. Oh, I can't wait to come and see you and come to the Portland Road. What's your thoughts on all that?
I just think it's fantastic. I mean, they're American. I know Burke is obviously Turkish descent, Turkish born, but has been Americanized. But they're all influenced by America, and with American sport, they can get quite excited about things and can get over the top sometimes over their sporting stuff over the pond. But I think you can see when they talk about the investment they've made in Ipswich, you can see how much it means to them, more than just a financial investment. I think you can see that this really is something that they really want to make work for everybody, obviously not just for their own pockets. And I think when you look at what he said in the club interview the night before the game, and just some of the termination he said, of like I've got goosebumps sitting here, and it's an empty stadium. I can't imagine what he was feeling when it was full of fans at 5-3 on the Saturday for him. And it's, but I think the key thing is that you've seen a lot of stuff on social media that they haven't been able to get across, but they've been fully invested. They've watched the games from afar over iFollow. They've really tried to interact with people over social media, and they really are trying to bring this kind of Ipswich community closer together, making it a really kind of strong mentality. We're all in it together. And to see everything that they do, the lengths that they go to support the team over in America. I mean, for him to be there on Saturday, I just can't imagine what he was feeling sitting there with the fans in, and then to have it perfectly set up. And I must put this out, and I'm sure Brett already knows this, but it's not like this every week. But for him to be over, and it is a shame the others couldn't come, but for one of our owners to be there, and then to have that finish, I mean, you just can't write that. You just can't make that up, that was going to happen. And I mean, some of the pictures you've seen of him celebrating, it just, but for me, the thing that really makes me excited about it is all of the things that I've seen from Johnson in the last couple of days, of the interview and then the pictures of him in the director's box during the game. It's the enthusiasm and the real kind of almost love of what they've done and what they're trying to do. And I think it is love. I think it isn't just a pure cold-hearted businessman, put money in, want some money after. They really are invested into everything that's part of the club, and that's the thing for us as fans, I think, that makes it really, really special, because we've had so long with nothing like that. Can you imagine if Ipswich had won that playoff against Norwich in 2015 and potentially been promoted, if they'd won the final? Could you have seen Marcus Evans standing out in Ipswich Town Hall celebrating with Mick McCarthy and the rest of the fans, a bit like the scenes in '99? when 2000, sorry, when promoted to the Premier League, and you had David Sheepshanks there and so on. You wouldn't have seen him there, and having that disconnect from the club for so long, it's really, really refreshing to just see that energy of the people who are in charge of the club now, just basically visualizing what the fans go through every week, and amplifying what the fans feel in their own actions and celebrations. So long may this be a very, very happy marriage, hopefully.
Definitely well said as ever, my friend. And of course, he flew home on Sunday morning, so he didn't fancy a trip to Plymouth, which of course is up next for Town, who Plymouth are top of the league on goal difference. Of course, joint top with Wickham. Of course, we travel to Wickham then on the Tuesday, so we've got two big games, Liam. Focusing on Plymouth though for the Monday recap. What do you reckon then? We're both going down, spending a weekend in Plymouth, Devon. It's going to be a tough game, but do you think we're ready for it now? After, the run we've had, the 4-0 win against Portsmouth, the late winner against Fleetwood, are we ready to play a team like Plymouth and, batter them?
I probably wouldn't say the latter. I don't think we'll batter them. Unless
battle.
Oh, battle.
I didn't say battered.
Ah, right. I thought you said batter them. Well, okay, I stand corrected. We won't batter them. But I agree. We are in a better position now to play the better teams with the form that we're in. I think the team is coming together now. You can see that the majority of positions are all almost now all being sealed, and there's not a lot that you can look at that you can start questioning who should play there and who should play here. I think the places are starting to get nailed down. The team is starting to become more coherent with each other, and now we've seen, like against Portsmouth away, and let's be honest, let's put it in context. Portsmouth were pretty bad, and they're a team not in great form at the moment. But to still go down there and win 4-0 on their own turf at one of the teams who really should be in and around the promotion push, and I fully expect probably at some point for them to make it up the table and be in and around the playoff positions. But to do that still takes a really, really well-oiled performance, and it was. They're going to need that again at Plymouth. I mean, I don't want to belittle Plymouth, because I would say start the season, it's a game we should be winning, and we should be getting 6 points from. But they're a different team to last season. They've got a whole different. They've got some new players, obviously, but at the same time, they're pretty much the same team as they were last season, with quality additions, and they're just in form, and they've been brilliant at the start of the season. So they're not infallible. They dropped points to Morecambe at the weekend, so they can be got at, but it will be a tough game. But the rewards now are huge. If Town go to Plymouth and win, suddenly the team who are top, and potentially if we did win on Saturday, probably won't be top by the end of it, but still we'll be 7 points off them. Suddenly that gap that has been hovering around 12 and 15 points, and we're all looking at it and going, oh, we're not going to get that back. We're suddenly halfway there, and it only takes a couple more results and we're suddenly level with them. And then, as you say, Wickham to come after that. So it's a big month coming up, and this ends this month. It's a big run of games, so it's a pretty big one, really big one. So I hope I hope we get the result. And the way we're playing, I don't see why not. I just my only concern is we still struggle to put away teams sometimes. But ironically, we struggle against the teams that seem to be harder to break down and are a little bit more coming to try and get a point or something. Whereas the teams who are better, or we think they're better, we seem to open them up better because they try and play against us. I can imagine Plymouth will try and play against us. I don't think they're going to sit in and try and frustrate us, because I think they'll feel that they can get at us. So I think could be quite an open game, and if that's the case, then we're in brilliant form, and we've got the players that could rip them apart. So I'm going to be positive. I'm going to put out. I think we're going to win the game. I think it's going to be 2-1. I still think we're going to concede, but I think we'll get another 2-1, because I think we've scored in every game so far, and we've got goals in us in abundance. So I'm going to be positive and say we'll win it, but I would take a draw if you're offering me that right now.
Well then, fair enough. Well, thanks for joining me as ever, Liam. I hope everybody's enjoyed another edition of the Monday Recap. A lot covered here. Safe trip to Plymouth if you're going. We've got all content coming this week on the game ahead of Plymouth and other bits and bobs. So make sure to tune in to all the stuff on our YouTube channel. Leave us a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Follow us on all the socials. I'll be back very soon for another video. See you then. Bye-bye for now.